Rambaran says the economy remains sluggish as hopes of projected growth for the next 6 months could see a setback with Hurricane Sandy hitting the United States. On the other hand, Mr. Rambaran notes that while there's evidence that the economy was contracting for the past 3 years, when one goes behind the scenes for the fourth quarter of 2011, the reduction in the unemployment rate could be explained by the public sector work programs implemented.
Presenting its first monetary policy report, Central Bank Governor Rambaran told the gathering at the Central Bank this afternoon that the shock of Hurricane Sandy now working its way through the U.S. economy has placed a further setback on economic growth for this year. Even as the economy back at home remains sluggish, the International Monetary Fund has revised the global economic growth estimates downwards.
The bank's latest data for the second quarter of this year indicates that real GDP contracted by 3.6%, and this was really due to a substantial contraction of almost 7.5% in the energy sector. And in the non-energy sector, we actually saw a very small contraction of just under 1%, with declines being recorded across the manufacturing, construction and agricultural sectors.
Mr. Rambaran says a key issue for the central bank is the labor market, where the sharp fall of unemployment from the Central Statistical Office of 4.2% was recorded even in the midst of a sluggish economy. The central bank governor asked this was largely due to short-term jobs such as the Economy Orange project. However, the economic advisor says the country cannot continue on short-term jobs to keep the unemployment rate at a steady level.
If you remember, in the fourth quarter, you had the Economy Orange program, in the agricultural sector, you had the Agriculture Now program. So those helped in a sense to provide a level of stability within the labor market. But the key issue for us is really, as we move forward, can we continue, right, to make use of these short-term work programs to keep the unemployment rate at a fairly steady level.
But in another breath, the central bank governor notes there are jobs in the non-energy sector, but citizens are not going after these jobs. He simply feels an attitudinal shift is needed in that regard.
You also have issues where employers are saying that they can't find workers, right? So you have vacancies existing while certain non-energy sectors are actually contracted or showing low growth. And part of it relates, I mean, to me, fundamentally is the work ethic that we have, right? So we want work, but we don't want to work. And I think that's fundamentally an attitudinal shift that is required in this country.
The central bank governor says the public debt increased to $71.6 billion at the end of September 2012, up from $54.4 billion at the end of the same period in 2011. He says the $20 billion of that public debt is as a result of the financing relating to the resolution of CLICO. Yolan Thomas, IE News.